welcome to the Silicon Slopes Proptech Real Estate Technology Chapter. My name's Matt Knight. I'm the co-director of the chapter along with my colleague Ross Rudd, who we're going to excuse today. He's traveling. But we're excited to meet today on the Silicon Slopes stage and talk all things real estate, technology, and specifically with Dallan Labrum from ProdataKey. They're a local technology group here, PropTech group, and we're excited to have Dallan here. Dallan, welcome. Thanks for coming in.
It's great to be here.
Yeah. Dallan is VP of Sales and Support at ProdataKey, and we're excited to talk to him about what they're doing and where you've been and where you're going. And why don't you tell the audience quickly to kick things off what ProdataKey is, kind of their thesis and where they started and kind of where you're at right now.
Sure.
High level.
Right now, ProdataKey or PDK, you'll hear me refer to it as ProdataKey or PDK, is a mobile-first, cloud-based access control company. And so, you know, our goal is to replace locks and keys with cards, fobs, and more importantly, mobile credentials on your phone, bringing the experience of getting into your home, to your gym, to your church, to your office, to your phone, making it easy. PDK started in 2011. The founder, Jeff Perry, and the founders, Jeff Perry and Josh Perry, they were brothers. Josh Perry, really special guy. He's very brilliant, very technically minded, understands things quickly, self-taught programmer, probably one of the best that I've ever seen. And then Jeff Perry, an idea guy, a sales guy, you know, really, if you've ever met him, you know, he's got a great personality. He's got a big personality. He was an integrator, actually, in the security industry, which means he installed cameras, access control, alarm systems, basically anything people needed for access and automation in the AV world and things like that. But one thing he noticed is that he was having to use many different manufacturers of access control in different implementations. This led to training issues with his customers. It led to you know, continuity issues, because who knew whether or not the tech showing up on site was versed in the type of software and hardware they were using. And his goal was, I need to create something universal, something that can be used in a small application or a giant application, something that has extreme ease of use merged with security, because he was just sick of carrying so many. So he set out with his brother to create a software and a hardware set that could replace all the others. And so that's where PDK came from. And then the current president and CEO, Evan Tree, he came along, you know, in the early years of PDK and really helped strengthen the company. He's a seasoned professional, a seasoned executive. He came in and brought financial stability to the company, helped put a really secure, dynamic direction for our roadmap, and has got us to where we are today, which is, you know, one of the top 100 fastest growing companies in the area, in the Mountain West Capital Group top 100 for 7 years in a row. And we anticipate being again next year, because we're just continuing to have this high double-digit, low triple-digit growth every year. And, you know, it's easy for a couple years, 2-3 years, but it's hard for 7 years. And so we have a phenomenal product. We have an amazing partner base that sells and installs our product. And so that's really the story of how PDK came about. And then the development of the product was brainstormed by Jeff and Josh Perry, and then perfected, in my opinion, by our current VP of engineering, Evan Orm. A brilliant mind, really a smart guy. He can do the programming. He's really helped stabilize our product, make it what it is today, the reliable, easy to use, yet extremely secure product that it is.
Fascinating. I've met Evan, and he's a sharp leader, and impressed with him. And so I sense that PDK is in good hands and going the right direction.
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about, I know there's a lot of silos out there in terms of technology stack as far as locks, and we're talking about security, we're talking video surveillance for commercial. And do you do any residential applications?
Yeah, again, we don't, right now we're not, it is one of our verticals. It's not one that we majorly focus on. But our software is, and we get this feedback from literally everyone, even people that choose not to go with PDK initially, is that it's the easiest to use. And so, you know, we created it as a mobile app on the phone first. We are the only person in this area that has done that. And so when you go from the phone, tablet, or computer, you have 100% functionality with our software. No one else has that. And so because they created a computer program, and then they had to dumb it down for the app and dumb it down even further for the phone. And so that's really one of our biggest differentiators is if you want to be able to use things on your phone, which roughly 93% of executives want them in their company to do, then PDK is the way to go as far as access control goes.
Yeah, that's fascinating. Everything's controlled on the mobile level, it seems like these days. And so I know
it should be.
It should be,
Yeah.
right? It should be, and it's going that direction. Tell us, I'm just curious your opinion on, again, there's a lot of different verticals with security and cameras. How does PDK just focus primarily in access control, or are you branching out to surveillance and other verticals as well?
So one thing you'll notice is that there's a lot of companies out there that started with one thing, and they've branched into other things, which typically has led to a deterioration in their initial product and then a lukewarm experience with the rest of it. But at least they're offering it all. As of right now, PDK, we're dedicated to being a purist, okay? While it is important for us to focus on access control, and that's what we do integrate with the top camera manufacturers, with the video management softwares, with the alarm systems, and we're adding more and more to our list every day. We also are one of the few that offer an open API and SDK. So if a lot of companies that have their own proprietary software, they can easily create a seamless integration with PDK, and that's becoming the rule more than the exception nowadays. Is people don't really care if we have created or currently integrate with the system they have, because they know how easy it is for them to just create their own integration and have it function and form the way that they want it.
Do you guys do much in terms of retrofits, or are you primarily new construction, new install, or because I assume compatibility with retrofits would be important too?
Yeah.
If any existing infrastructure.
Most access control installs, most security installs are retrofits. Right now, there's a statistic out there, I got this from a couple different sources, but it's pretty close to 50% of commercial buildings don't have electronic access control or alarm system on them. They're locks and keys. So in existing buildings that exist right now, there's a huge market for it. And then on new builds, it really just depends on who's building it. So if a real estate or a VC company is building like this building right here, a multi-tenant commercial building, a lot of times they built this building to sell to a property management company who's then going to lease it out. There's a big gap in that process, and the reason is because they'll build it without access control. They'll build it with locks and keys. Then they sell it, a brand new building, they'll sell it to this VC company or the property management company, and then they'll have to retrofit a one-year-old building with access control, alarm systems, cameras. That happens a lot. That happens more often than not. But if you get a company, like Meta or whatever, that is building their own building, a lot of times you'll see the product go in there as a new build, and it'll be thought through a lot better. So that's something that we could improve on and probably add value and make a little bit more money on the VC side of real estate, is having the building ready to go when they sell it. Because most property managers are expecting, most of those companies that buy them, to lease out, are expecting to have to put in a lot of money to get it ready.
Yeah, that's a great point. I'd suspect that probably the driving force behind a lot of your work, I'd say, is the property management level versus the ownership. If someone buys a building, does the owners, they probably get a lot of feedback from property management saying, hey, we need more access, better clearance.
Oh, yeah.
And so property management is probably your key listening ear and audience, right?
It is, but the thing is, venture capitalists, they want to make money. That's the good thing. And so they're starting to see that there's an opportunity here to not only build a building that's ready to go, but also make more money on top of that. It leads to convenience. It leads to the purchasing company being able to go to market with their tenants a lot faster. And so that's a big value add. If you can have somebody that's making money immediately upon purchase instead of making money 6 months to a year out because they have to make all these preparations, that kind of convenience is worth a lot.
I want to shift topics here real quick, Dallan, with you. For those in our audience who are watching this, notice Dallan is just a real nice, big, robust guy. He's fit, he's tall, what are you, 6'8", 6'9", you say?
Yep.
To get personal here, you're in sales professionally, but you're an athlete in a prior life.
I was an athlete.
He's still an athlete. Tell us, I'm always curious about people's professional life and
Sure.
how you kind of grew up, and tell us about you, like
Yeah.
how you matriculated, and now you're a VP at PDK. Just give us a rundown of who you are.
Okay. I grew up with great parents. I owe a lot to them. They taught me how to treat people, how to communicate well. A lot of the things that I capitalize on in my own tool belt are from my parents, so I really appreciate that. Went to school at University of Oregon, went to school at a junior college called Chemeketa as well, in Oregon. I've been in sales my whole life. I went on a mission for the LDS Church to Bulgaria, learned Bulgarian, still do translations for the LDS Church and for some for the UN, which is kind of fun. When I got home from a mission, I started doing kind of an engineering sales job, which was interesting. It was working on roads, consulting on how to fix roads and things like that. And, moved into, my dad was in the automotive industry all growing up. I learned how to sell things pretty quickly. My dad's always done it the right way, though. He's always been a caring guy. He's never been a pressure guy. He taught me how to really care for people, which is, I think, the number one thing in sales is actually caring. That leads to a lot more growth, a lot better relationships, So anyway, in that capacity, since I was, about 25, I've been in kind of VP roles and directorship roles. I worked for Mountain America Credit Union. I worked for Chevron Oil Company. I worked for Ford and did some consulting there. It was just, I've had a lot of really great opportunities to put into words and to define what makes a good salesperson. And so I also do, I have a successful side business doing sales consulting that has kind of kept me from not having to worry about a job. I do the right thing no matter what, even if it leads to me not being at that company anymore. It's what I try to do.
Good for you. That's terrific. I'm always fascinated to understand how people get to where they are, and especially now with PropTech and real estate technology. Did you have a feeling for technology coming from sales and real estate, or do those worlds just kind of collide for you?
In a lot of roles that I've had in the past, I've been a user of this product that I sell now, and I'm always interested in real estate. I have my own personal real estate dealings. It's kind of interesting how I came on with PDK. I think I'll touch on that. I was working for a pretty prominent oil company. That's where I was. I was not in PropTech or security, or even technology, I would say, for that matter. A lot of the things that we used were very outdated. But on my birthday in 2019, I got a call from Jeff Perry. Jeff Perry is actually a childhood friend of mine. We grew up in the same town in Oregon. It's just outside Portland. It's called the Dalles. But he called me up just randomly to wish me a happy birthday, which I hadn't heard from him in a long time, And he expressed to me, he's like, hey, I want you to come take a look at what we have here. We have a great product. We have a phenomenal product, but we don't have the right sales structure in place. They were still growing, but not as much as they could have. And I came and took a look, and man, it was, and I had some of my friends that are in PropTech and in software take a look at it, and they're like, man, this really, it's different. It's different than what's out there. You can really capitalize on that mobile first aspect, the fact that it's an app first. And it's much easier to use than anything that's out there. And so I came, took a look. I met with Jeff and Evan and the team that was there, and I fell in love with the culture. And to be honest, that's what's keeping me there. Is number one is, I'm probably never going to go to a company where we're frustrated with 90% growth. You know what I mean? It's just, every week's a record week, every month's a record month, and it's been that way for 4 years, and it's just been really exciting. I'm glad I came on. As you know, Jeff Perry was able to exit PDK about 2 years after me coming on and make a pretty good deal there. I think I found a home, though. I'd like to be here for the foreseeable future. It's just what we do. We protect life and property, and we make it easy. It's something that really brings a lot of satisfaction.
Awesome. And you guys are a local company. You're here, I think it's Draper is where you're headquartered.
Yep, we're headquartered in Draper, just right on Draper and Bangor and I-15 right there, right across from Bill, which was formerly Divvy. Yeah, we can see them from out of our window. So yeah, our stuff's built and created right here in Utah.
Fascinating. I love it. I love it. I want to ask you too, PropTech is relatively new in the industry. I know real estate's a lagging industry to adopt technology, and here in Utah we're trying to promote that through the chapter and gauge people's interest in that. For those entrepreneurs out there in the Silicon Slopes community and Utah at large, what would you say, any advice for those that are thinking of starting a prop tech company or team, organization? Any pointers as far as what you're seeing out there generally, maybe not specifically to what you're doing, but maybe more in general with prop tech?
Sure.
Are you hearing any rumblings about what's coming down the pipeline in terms of technology and discovery and
Yeah.
R&D?
Yeah, I mean, you're probably not surprised to know, and you probably already do know, there's an unbelievable amount of companies emerging. And, and a lot of these companies do the same things as each other. A lot of them have small, unique identifiers, but there's a lot. And one thing that I would say is, if you're a company coming into the prop tech industry, do what we did. We created our API first, Our API, our actual software utilizes our API. We created our software to integrate with everything. We want everyone to be able to utilize our stuff because honestly, it is a superior product. We want to make it so that even our competitors, if they need to, they can integrate into it. And I think that openness is going to be demanded. It's already starting to be demanded because a lot of these companies that go in and their product is founded on one little thing that they do better than the other company, that's not going to cut it into the future. And so I would say create your product with the intent to partner with as many people as you can. And in doing that, that's going to be one of the activities that's going to make you money. A lot of companies are so directly focused on the money that they close their system. And they're like, oh, we want to differentiate, we want to close. But the truth of the matter is, moving into the future, if you create your product in a way that it can work and play well with others the best, that will be the product that survives. Because in times of plenty, there's plenty for everyone. But when the economy kind of shrinks a little bit, then your company gets purchased for less than you wanted it to because you're not ready to be that dynamic. So I would say get ready to be dynamic, get ready to play well with everybody, and just keep improving your product as quickly as you can.
I'm going to ask a question, and tell me if you're okay answering this or not. Is there anything you can share with us in the audience from PDK, something that's on the radar that you're excited about? Is there a new development or technology that you're comfortable sharing that
Sure.
is coming down the
Yeah,
road?
I mean, we just announced an integration with a partner of ours called Turing AI. They're a pretty advanced cloud-based VMS. They're a camera manufacturer as well. So they have cameras and they have this really cool video monitoring system, and we have a full integration with them. And that's kind of what I was talking about is instead of us developing our own VMS, which would detract from our engineering team and our product team, we have stayed true to creating the best access control product. And then we strategically partner with these high quality people that do cameras and alarms and things like that, which allows an end user customer to have the best VMS, the best access control, the best alarm, or the one that they want at least, instead of being pigeonholed into having to use whatever we offer.
Very cool, very cool. Well, I'm excited because I'm indirectly involved with the real estate and specifically multifamily.
Yeah.
There's a lot of platforms out there that are still, I think, being in the testing phase. Some are proven.
Yeah.
And I sense that the more agnostic you are, to your point, the better you'll have with implementation and loyalty with it. So,
because I mean, it's going to be a lot easier to partner with someone and benefit from their customer base than it is going to be to take their customers.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to ask too, going back full circle here, we're at the Silicon Slopes stage here in Lehi, Utah, and I want to get a sense for how PDK is feeling in general with the tech community here. We'd love to get you guys on as sponsors and so forth and get you involved here, but are you having any conversations within the tech community here locally that you're intrigued by, that you're thinking maybe partnering with or working with other companies here?
Sure. Yeah, I can't go really in depth into this because the companies that we are with, we're under NDA, so you can't get into that. But there's a lot of high quality multi-tenant residential management systems that we're partnering with right now and creating integrations. We have an integration with a partner called Storables. They're a storage unit management company that has just created a phenomenal product, and they're knocking it out of the park, man. They've been such a value add to us, and I hope that we've been as big of a value add to them. companies like Entrada, things like that. So we are open to and looking forward to integrating and working together with anybody who we can come up with a quality value proposition. So yeah, and we love working with Utah companies. Nothing's easier than driving 15 minutes to have a meeting, in-face meeting, and and creating a partnership and a strategy together.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're excited about the folks we've talked to and PDK certainly here locally. It's exciting to see who's focused in prop tech, who's focused in real estate technology, and even VC firms and capital groups that are here locally that help fund these startups and growth businesses. So it's exciting time.
Utah's awesome like that. Utah's got a lot of quality VC companies and a lot of cool startups. A lot of cool startups.
Absolutely. Well, Dallan, I appreciate your time. Thanks for coming in today. And
yeah, no problem.
We're excited to see where PDK goes and your growth and direction here in Utah. And we'd love to have you participate with Silicon Slopes and our conferences and events. And we'll see you around town. How's that?
It sounds great.
Yeah, thank you for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd like to thank everyone for participating today and listening to the PropTech discussion panel. Grateful again to CBRE, our chapter sponsor. They're a local and global group here in Lehigh and in Salt Lake. Reach out to them for real estate needs. So we'll catch you next time on the PropTech chapter. Thank you.